Okay. Are we live? About to be? Are we? Maybe. See how she goes. See what happens. Give it a few minutes. Hmm. See here. Am I watching everything in real time? Don't know. Hard to say. Man, I see what's going on. Okay. It says 3 watching now. Why does it say Friday night live stream in RuneSet? That's not right. I think I know what's going on. I think I know what's going on. It picked up a different streaming key. Yeah, that's what happened. But anyway, I guess we're here now. We shall see what happens in the next one. I don't know. We shall see. Well, just throw it, Jesse. Just throw it. You figure out which thing I'm streaming on. Nope. Not that. If anybody's watching right now, just comment. Because I don't know if this is where this thing is streaming from. I had a couple of different things open up at the same time, and I thought I had the right streaming key and all that shared already. So I can't say for sure that the 4 people that I see that are watching are actually watching. And so if you are watching, drop a comment down below, please. There's Rob. Music on, just friendly advice. Music on. Yeah, get copyright stricken, but I got you though. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see what I can do for you here that I won't get copyright stricken. Let's see. I got you though, man. I got you. Let's do that. Let's get a little bit of background Mead Hall ambient sound going. What we got there? A little fire crackling. How's that? How's that going for you, man? Godfrey Bear. What's that look like for you? Does that look good? Sound good? You like that little little crackling of the fire gives us something, right? Gives us some white noise in the background. But hail and welcome. Very unplanned for. Rob says, yeah, that's cool. Well, great. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for everyone for watching. I always get this live stream and stuff mixed up because I don't do it enough, and I don't have a very solid thing. But I'm here. We're here. You're here. I want to say thank you for watching. If you don't mind, just give the video a thumbs up. I'm here for about the next, I don't know, maybe hour or so, just chilling for the night. And wanted to kind of open up the floor for conversations, questions, stuff like that. Love the fur. Yeah, I wish it was real. It's a replica of a bear shawl, you know what I mean? Bear skin, bear fur. And it's a replica, like I said. It's not the actual thing, but gives the aesthetic, gives the look. Was that it was like a online thing because she's got the look or he's got the look? I don't know. Do I have the look? It's a look, at least some sort of look. But it is midweek Wednesday, Odin's Day, you know, and I don't do these live streams that much, but we are in the middle. Actually, it's way past the middle, but we are in the race to 5K subscribers here on this YouTube channel. 4,500 subscribers right now, a little bit more, and trying to see how soon we can get to 5K. And I wanted to check in and say hello to people that, you know, don't normally see me like this, because normally my content that I share and post is going to be podcast format. So good to see you, Rob. Good to see you. Odin's Beard Woodworking says hello. And Godfrey Bear, yes, hail to you. Two of them can't type on. What? Do I have two live streams going at the same time? Well, if we do, that's wild. Does that mean I get double the views? I don't know. I don't know. It says I'm just streaming live now once. So anywho, here we are. Got the look, yeah. Hello to you, always a witch. Finally caught alive. Well, always a witch. It's good to see you. I'm glad that you finally caught it, because I'm terrible with planning these things and doing anything, you know, on a regular basis. Oh, two of the people in my court. Yes. Well, awesome, Godfrey Bear. Good to see everybody. But yeah, like I said, I'm terrible about running these things concurrent. You know what I mean? I don't have a schedule for me to do these things live, you know, and I don't get on here to do these things live. It's tonight was just one of those nights where I was like, I got nothing else to do, nothing really else to get into, no trouble to get into, and I just needed a little bit of an outlet to sit here and talk to people or have some questions brought up. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast lately, because that's about the only thing that I'm as of late comfortably able to consistently produce and put out here for everybody. So the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast, for those that don't know, is available on all of your major podcast platforms, you know, Spotify, Anchor, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Of course, here on YouTube, they air every Thursday morning, or most every Thursday morning. You know, my schedule to put out content, I try to record well in advance to have content for you guys each week. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. There's things that happen. Life happens, right? We're all used to that. Sometimes life just throws you a curveball and you got to deal with it. And but for the most part, every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, you'll see the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast distributed on all your major podcasts. I said Spotify. I know there's was it iHeartRadio, Pandora, and a bunch of some of the other ones that I don't I don't know how much people actually watch. I think most of my listeners are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So for all you iPhone users, or Apple users, Macs and stuff like that, cheers to you. Thank you so much. And thank you to the Spotify listeners. The Spotify thing's pretty cool because it also has the video option for you to watch the podcast. So if you're into seeing me and listening instead of just listening, you've got that option. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I know that at the early part of the year or end of the last year, I gave a sort of like state of the channel address, given like a rough draft of an idea of what I wanted for the channel. And as the early parts of 2022 started to flesh out, the reality sunk in, and things just, sometimes what you aim for, sometimes what you shoot for, you don't always achieve it. And at least at this point right now, again, it's only mid-March. Not to say that that's the only thing that's going to be going on here on the channel, but at least for right now, at least you've got weekly podcasts that come out. So I hope that you guys have been enjoying that. This week's podcast is going to be great. We've got a lot of, listeners calling in and asking some questions, as well as writing into the podcast. And if you guys are ever interested in that and you haven't listened to any of my content before, I'll just say it here right now that you can call in. It's a Google Voice number, so wherever you are in the world, you'll just dial the U.S. country code, which is I think 1 or +1, and then it's 615-671-9832, and it rings to a Google Voice number where you can leave a voicemail with questions, comments, ideas, thoughts, anything, and I share it on the podcast every week. Right now we don't get a lot of people that do that, which is fine. But if you are inclined and you so want to have your voice heard on the podcast, then definitely feel free to do that. And then Midgard Musings TN@gmail.com is the email address that you can write into. I know a lot of folks are not too keen on having their voices heard and would rather just have an anonymous email sent in. So if you do call in, unless you state otherwise, your voice will get shared on the air on the podcast. It doesn't, no personal information or anything like that is ever revealed or divulged. Your name, as you reveal it to you on the voicemail or whatever, is the only thing that people know when they hear it. I don't reveal, contact information or anything like that. I keep all of that stuff very private because I appreciate your guys' interest in calling in and sharing your thoughts and ideas. But this week's podcast, which is actually going to be airing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, is going to be on a couple of topics. It's kind of riding off of the coattails of last week's episode, wherein I talk a bit about the complexities or the challenges that we face, or that a lot of pagans face when they are in relationships or in families that are of differing faiths. You know what I'm saying? Differing religious views and differing approaches to spirituality and all that kind of stuff, and the kind of challenges and hurdles that can come across and how to deal with it. Last week's episode was that was kind of the topic, and this week's episode is riding a bit off of the coattails of that because of a listener who called in during last week's live premiere. So I know a lot of you that will catch these live premieres on the channel or wherever maybe want to call in with your immediate thoughts. Please feel free to do so. Phone lines, I will never answer them in real time, but the voicemail box is always free and open. So go ahead and feel free to do that. Maybe you're listening to an episode that's currently airing, or you're listening to a past episode, whatever. Any thoughts and ideas, any comments, suggestions, whatever you want to offer, you can do so by calling into that hotline. And then again, if you have something else that you want to just think about, mull over, and then send me your dissertation or whatever to the email, that's fine too. So that's the start of this week's episode, and then we're going to be hearing from another fella who was asking about destroying ritual items and the deal with all of that. talk a bit about that towards the latter half of the episode. So it's a good, roughly hour-long deal, and that's what's going to be on tomorrow's episode. So I hope you guys catch it when it premieres. It'll be premiering also on Facebook as well, but here on the YouTube channel is where I try to get everybody to come to, because we are again in a race to how soon can we get to 5,000 subscribers? Just a little over 4,500 here as of today, so we got just a little under 500 to go, and I don't really have a goal in mind as far as when we're going to get there. This channel is almost 4 years old, so in terms of growth and stuff like that, it's doesn't have a lot of high numbers to speak for itself, but that's okay. I'm not really in it to the degree of trying to get all the subscribers in Midgard, but what we can get, and it would be cool to see if we can maybe get to 5K before, I don't know, end of the year. I'm bad at math, but I think if we do a couple of subscribers a day from now until the end of the year, we should be able to get there. So we'll see. For all of you that are listening and that see my videos and my podcasts, just keep sharing, keep engaging. It helps the algorithm as well, because as the algorithm recognizes the engagement level that people have with wanting to talk about things, these live streams are great as well. Sharing the videos too, so whenever I do go live, I really want to try to get into doing it more. Maybe not once a week, but at least a few times a month, or a couple of times a month. I think it would be great, and have a topic, have something planned. That way, for everybody out here that is joined today, gets a bit of a regular expectation, and knows like, oh wow, like on this day or at this time or whatever, he's gonna be going live and talking about whatever. So that's kind of where we're at with it. And so, why are you here? To see me, to talk, to listen, to hear things. Again, we're listening to some it's called Viking Mead Hall. It's available on the Dunheim YouTube channel. It's a couple of hours long of just this ambient background noise. It adds a nice layer, to things. And you can, feel free to check it out. Dunheim has done a lot of wonderful music that has been featured in, I think, Vikings and some other cinematic work. But the cool thing about his projects, man, is that he offers his music for free, and his designs, his intellectual property, for free to be used by content creators, or stuff like this, where I could stream stuff in the background, or have things playing in the background, and not get a copyright strike. So cheers to Dunheim for that, and also for the actual artwork and designs that he's worked on and created for merchandise. I have a spring store, which, if you guys are familiar, the Linktree link that's in the description of all my videos, if you go there and you go to the Midgard Musings store, you'll see a variety of clothing items that I have for sale that help support this channel. A lot of which now have been of designs that are courtesy of Dunheim, and his artwork is featured on sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, onesies for babies, all kinds of different things. And the great thing about it is that he does this, and he's like, he's not you're not going to get in trouble for using any of his work, because he's made it basically what's I say, open source or free for use. He wants people to have fun with it and be creative with it, which I think is wonderful. I think it's great, and really appreciate what he's done for the larger pagan community in the world without becoming real conceited about it. So he's doing great things, and hopefully not just me, but other heathen content creators out here are taking advantage of that. So hope you're all enjoying it and taking advantage of it as well. But if you are watching right now and you haven't yet, give that video a thumbs up. Once again, share it around, comment, post your thoughts, ideas, questions. I'm here for about the next half hour, 45 minutes or so. Like I said, I didn't really have a surefire thing of what to do. So I'm just here, doing it. So let's see what we can get into out here. I have been mentioned in a comment. Oh, it's because I comment on some silly things. Yeah. So, what else is going on? What's coming up down the pipeline? I guess we could say that Segerbloat is maybe not the next big thing, because I know a lot of pagans are gearing up for the full moon coming up here this weekend, which is also lining up with, I think, Ostara, which is not a pagan, Germanic pagan thing. It's, if anything, maybe Anglo-Saxon, I believe. Ostara. But a lot of the neo-pagans now are looking at the spring equinox, first day of spring. The other day we had, was it Saturday? Yeah, last Friday going into Saturday, it went from like 70 degrees down into 20 degrees overnight. It snowed. And then, here in the last few days, it's been more typical for this portion of the country this time of year. It's been very, very pleasant, to be honest with you. Had some rain yesterday. I think we're gonna probably see some more rain tomorrow, but it's coming into the springtime. So the dormancy of winter is waning, and I know a lot of people are gearing up for springtime festivals and events and things that where they can set up shop there, sell their wares, be outdoors more, all that fun stuff. 51 there in Vermont, Odin'sbeard Woodworking says, didn't you guys just have some snow and now it's all gone? Like, I remember you posting a video the other day on your Facebook, and it was like really coming down pretty good with snow. Hey, Bradley, who says that they are just beginning their journey into paganism and was recommended your channel by a friend over Xbox. Well, that's a first that I know of, at least. I don't think I've ever been told that or ever found out, at least, that I was somebody recommended me over Xbox. So that's pretty cool. So cheers to you, Bradley, and thank you. Yeah, just wondering where you thought would be the best place to start researching. So Bradley, again, welcome to the community at large. It is a large one, and it's a very diverse community. And there's not really one specific thing that I could say that, pretty much everybody that you encounter online is always going to say, yeah, read the Eddas. The Poetic Edda, which the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda, right? It's really the same thing. It's just what's included in which translation, which versions. So the Poetic Edda contains the Codex Regius, which are the oldest known literary sources of some of the skaldic poems and stuff from medieval or pre-Christian Scandinavia. It's a compilation, really, of different poems and sagas. And then the Prose Edda is Snorri Sturluson's work, where he kind of compiles all of the myths and stories of lore into a very organized, semi-organized, and prose fashion. Now, the majority ruling is that Snorri's work is largely tainted. He's considered, I think, a secondary source for a lot of pagans nowadays. Is he's not necessarily a primary source, but a secondary source on lore and things, because Snorri was Christian. He was a Christian monk, and he was a converted Christian monk. So a lot of the stories that Snorri put together in his prose Edda were stories of the myths and the legends and the lore from the pre-Christian times. Because of his conversion, it's almost undoubtedly sure that there's bias included in his writings. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that you read in the prose Edda, which are, again, a compilation of various myths and stories of lore of the gods and some of the heroes and sagas, that are going to have a very strong Christian twist on it, especially when you read the likes of, the Voluspa and the creation myth and stuff like that. It's almost, it mirrors in some ways the creation story of Judaic origins, the Christian creation. Not entirely, not by a long shot, but there are notes of it. There's hints of that influence there. So be careful with Snorri. So when people say, where you should start researching, it really kind of depends on what you're wanting to get out of this and what you're looking to pursue in your paganism. If it's, a very strong historical source or historically accurate approach to things, there's this kind of subset of heathens now that are, or for a very long time actually, that are referred to as Reconstructionists. So and I think that goes with most any pagan circles. You have your kind of woo-woo neo-pagan fluffy bunny, everything goes, anything goes kind of folks, and you have those that are really like, well, how did it happen historically, and how do we reconstruct that nowadays? And so wherever you find yourself in, I think is going to really help you figure out where you want to go with your research. Hail to you, Chase. Hail and welcome. Just seeing you there in the live chat, so good to see you. But in terms of, what are you starting with your research? I honestly, when I first started, I wish I had a list of things. I think it helps to know where to start with your worldviews, because this particular path, at least, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, this particular path of paganism, you become something different than what you once were over the years and over time, and especially when you're coming into it from another religion. I think most people are transitioning into paganism after having been Christian for most of their lives, or at least exposed to Christianity and Christian worldviews. So how you view the world as a pagan now is going to be very different than how you viewed the world as a Christian, or as a person of another religious faith, or even as an agnostic or as an atheist. There's a worldview that goes along with heathenry, Germanic heathenry. There is. And so learning that worldview takes time, or adopting, I guess, is probably the better vernacular here. Adopting a different worldview does take time. The culture of the Teutons is a great source to get into learning a bit about what that was like for Germanic peoples of pre-Christian times. Another great book that I recommend a lot it's a bit outdated, but it could probably use an overhaul a bit. And this is coming from people who I know were intimately connected and involved with its author, is the We Are Our Deeds by Eric Wodening. It's again a bit outdated, but it still contains a lot of good information of ethics and worldviews, kind of understanding how Germanic people in pre-Christian times viewed the world. So We Are Our Deeds, Culture of the Teutons. Tacitus, Germania, his work writing about the Germanic tribes that he, of course, witnessed. He wasn't, of course, a Roman. He was a Roman who observed the activities and the practices and that of Germanic people prior to the Viking Age. So a lot of his, you know, he wasn't like an eyewitness to a lot of stuff. He was documenting things that other people saw. So it was kind of like secondhand. You know, it's not like he just literally watched it all happen, but he heard about it from his legionnaires and all these other types of things, and he documented it down. So Germania by Tacitus is another good one. Just to kind of get, you know, the, I guess, understanding of where things kind of started, because most of what we find people getting into nowadays starts around in and around the Viking Age because of Snorri, because of the Eddas. You know, you got to think when all of that stuff was written, you know, Iceland, Scandinavia, Norway, Denmark, and all them. A lot of those places had already become converted to Christianity. You know, so the Viking Age was a conversion period. So to really see where things were with the world in this religion or in this, you know, faith, you got to look further back, and so you got to go back to some older primary sources. And there's so much more. There's so much more. If you're more of an online kind of person looking to gather information from some online resources and you know, watch some videos or subscribe to some channels, I'm going to recommend you some right now. If you go on YouTube and you look for Ocean Keltoi, Keltoi, Ocean Keltoi, big time YouTuber, heathen YouTuber, great content creator. He's a reconstructionist heathen, but he has a very holistic approach with his content, and very humorous, very, very entertaining. In a dry sort of way, but I like his style. I like the way he delivers things. He's very well versed, and contains a lot of knowledge, and his format is great. Another one I would recommend is I think a friend and colleague of his, and somebody who I've become friends with a bit online. We don't talk a lot. We're not like very close or personal friends. Is Wolf the Red. He's another heathen out there in Georgia, I believe, United States. Rides a motorcycle, you know, has like a motorcycle club that he's involved in. Very, very good content creator as well. They recently, I believe, between him and Ocean Keltoi collectively, with like Twitch live streams and things like that, they've collectively raised somewhere's in the ballpark of like $10,000 for Ukraine. So they're doing great things. They have a Discord community server, whatever. I don't know. They do a lot online. Odin's Beard Woodworking is here in the live chat, and I know that he, Matt Petrie up there, you know, he's actually a wood carver. You know, so he has a great mental health group on Facebook called Air's Embrace. EIR, it's Air as in the goddess Air, or one of Freya's handmaidens called Air in the lore. So Air's Embrace, it's a mental health group community that he kind of runs there, along with his business, Odin's Beard Woodworking. Arith Herger, if you look up on YouTube, Arith Herger, his first name is Arith, and Herger it's Haerger, something like that. Arith Herger is an archaeologist, pagan. He's very academic. His approach to heathenry and paganism is very academic, but he leans much more heavily on the animistic side of things. You know, so a lot of his videos are going to be circulated around the facts as we know them from archaeological and academic sources. And his focus, if I got, you know, again, without having ever met him or whatever, I believe he's either lives or he's from Portugal. But he focuses a lot on the animism, you know, side of things. So he's a good source. And there's more. Oh, Eric Shervin. Eric Shervin, the Ravens Call. Eric's channel is Eric Word Weaver Shervin. Sjerven is how he spells his last name. But if you look up Eric Word Weaver, the Ravens Call is the name of his show on YouTube. He's got a catalog of, I don't know how many hundreds of videos. When I first started the Midgard Musings channel about 4 years ago, Eric had already had a solid catalog of videos that I stumbled upon, and him and I have become actually good friends. We've collaborated on each other's channels a lot. He's in the East Texas area. He is a Gothi chieftain, or Gothi/chieftain of the his tribe. Is the Hridgar, or the Hridgari. So check out the Ravens Call here on YouTube as well. He does a lot of awesome content. I know he's in kind of a stage right now of a lot of things are happening on the home front for him, his job and career and all that kind of stuff, where his content has not been as consistent or regular, but I can promise you that what content he does have up there, definitely check out. He's written a book called The Saga of Bjorn Thorolfsson, which is available on Amazon. If you check out any of his videos, he's going to have links to that book in his video descriptions. So he's definitely one that I recommend to everybody and anybody. I reference things that Eric has said a number of times. Probably one of my most favorite phrases that he has coined is the "not my hall, not my call" phrase, and it's a great mantra, I think, to adopt. You know, not my chair, not my problem. You know, not my horse, not my race, not my hall, not my call. You do what you want to do. You practice what you want, the way you want to practice. You heathen how you want to heathen, and me and my people, we're gonna do it the way that I do, or that we do, or whatever. And you know, his approach is to never be that one to be that Ossopope dictator. You have to do it this way or you're doing it wrong, you know, kind of thing. So Eric Shervin, who else? Ari Thurger, of course, Ocean Keltoy, Wolf the Red. I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but if you're looking for some really awesome ritual items, handcrafted ritual items, check out Fjallvatir Workshop, J.M. Olofsson. Fjallvatir is like FJALLVAETIR, Fjallvatir. Fjallvatir Workshop, I think it's fjallvatir.com, is he's in North Carolina. I've shared content on my channel. I've had him on the podcast. I've had him on this channel. My wife and I have visited him and his wife and family in the mountains of North Carolina. I'm actually going to be going back out there again this year, later on around my birthday. Have a shamanic journey that me and my tribe are going to be going on up to his estate in the mountains of North Carolina, and he's great people. So yeah, anyway, you know, as far as research goes, man, I mean, you know, learn anything and everything that you possibly can. Kind of, you know, wherever you are in this stage of your journey, if you're testing the waters out a bit, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where you just get in there and splash around, you know what I'm saying? Get in there and kind of get your hands wet, get your feet dirty. Or is it the other way around? Get your feet wet, get your hands dirty. Heck, just roll around a bit, man. Just get dirty. Get in there. Get in there and do it. I would avoid large national organizations, even the ones that seem wholesome and great on the surface. I've been around the block enough right now to realize that even the good ones, even the people that are good, that are a part of those national organizations, the big national organizations, and I'm here to tell you right now that it ain't where it's at, man. It ain't where it's at. You're gonna meet a lot of people, right? And you're going to get this sense of like family, like an extended family or community, because everybody's, you know, hail the gods and hail brother and hail this and hail that. Like, look, man. First of all, just because you recognize that the Norse gods are of interest to you, and you venerate your ancestors and whatnot, that does not mean that I'm your brother or that you're my sister or anything like that. Those titles of kinship are sacred. And you start running around spouting off, hail brother this and hail sister that, you're going to get some people that no doubt are gonna you know, not tolerate it. And I'm not one of those ones that it's just like, it's not intolerable to me, but I don't call anybody brother, or I don't give any title of kinship to people who I don't trust and who haven't earned it. And that's one of the big problems with these national orgs and these larger communities, is that, you know, newer people that come into them that are looking for a group to be a part of, that are looking for something, are going to come into that with this kind of sense of family. And again, a lot of it stems back to the baggage that you carry from previous religions, you know, especially Christianity, because it's, you know, the brotherhood of man under the fatherhood of God mantra, right? And there's nothing like that in heathenry. You are my brother, you are kin to me, because you've either A, been born under my family line, or an adopted sort of worthing processes took place. But it boils down to worthing. You know, you have worth yourself to me to be called that, and for me to call you that, and for you to call me that. There's been a worthing process, and that is something that is very, very important in especially Germanic heathenry, with a lot of different circles, is proving your worth. Your deeds are what define you. You are your deeds. We are our deeds. The book that I mentioned before by Eric Modening, the very title of the book says it, but the morals and ethics of arch-heathens in the time and Germanic people that the author goes into kind of covers that. There is a worthing process that took place amongst people at that time that determined, you know, your value. Your worth is placed upon you by your people. So, you know, to come into these online communities and to be, you know, brother and sister this and whatnot, just because, you know, you hail the same gods that I do, I'm sorry, but that's just not it. That ain't where it's at. So I caution people now, and I caution people greatly about just clicking on things to join online groups, especially when it's, you know, national organizations, big time national organizations. There's some that are, they're just inherently awful. Avoid the AFA 100%. Unless you're a racist douche, then by all means go ahead and, you know, shove it up your ass. But you know, a lot of these others that are not inherently racist and that are not that way are just, it's bad news, man. I don't want to speak a lot about what I'm hearing going on in some of the online communities nowadays, because I don't have enough information to really and truthfully, you know, go into any great detail. But some of the things that I've been hearing about and some of the things that I'm getting wind of, it's just like, man, I'm glad I'm not even dealing with that anymore. I have enough storms to ride through, and I have enough, you know, things to deal with in my small yard, my small inner yard, than what I need to be worried about in the great wide world of internet personalities and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, they do have some place, I guess, of somewhat value. Like I said, it's not like I'm saying like don't just be careful, realize that when you get there, you're going to get a lot of these, myself, Eric Shervin, a lot of these other, some of these, like, and Eric's more seasoned in this than I am. These brosatru, we call them, the modern term of Germanic paganism largely will sometimes get lumped into this term asatru, or you'll hear it say asatru, A-S-A-T-R-U, right? Asatru. Well, these guys and gals out here that, think they're Vikings and look, guys, like, I'm wearing this robe, I'm wearing my tunic, I'm wearing this fake bear hood. Look, I'm doing it just because I'm live streaming with you, and I thought, why not just, change the garb? Like, this is quite honestly just the basis of my ritual garb. And what it does for me is it puts me into a ritual state of mind. I don't ever walk around this world thinking that I'm Viking or that I'm a descendant of the gods or anything like that. I mean, I'm just one guy in Middle Tennessee being a heathen with a YouTube channel and a microphone and a podcast, and I do what I do, and that's it. But I don't go around thinking I'm going to Valhalla and none of that mess, But these brosatrus, which is, again, the asatru types that are just macho, testosterone overdose types. You're going to get that too online, and you're going to get these, live on the internet for 10 minutes and you'll see all kinds of toxicity, and heathenry contains it. I mean, heathenry, it's in heathenry too. It's an online heathenry, at least. But, don't let it discourage you from exploring. Don't let it discourage you from investigating, but just realize what's out there. Again, I do weekly podcast episodes every Thursday mornings at 9:00 in the morning. And you're free to, jump in here and kind of, I don't moderate the live chats when they're going. A lot of times I'm usually at work, so I may not be in here to, comment on the live chats when they're up there. But they are premiered live every day, or sorry, every week, on Thursdays. Wyatt Coverdale, what's up, my guy? Having a live stream tonight at 10:00 Eastern. Yeah. After this, if I want, we can keep the party going over there, rolling over there. Cool. Yeah, Wyatt. At this point, hard for me to say, but I might pop in and say hi. These weeknights for me, that's not too late. If you're gonna start at 10:00, that's 9:00 my time. And I'm not an old prude where I got to be in bed at 8:00. Got to take my meds and tuck my toes in and put my socks on and did I just say tuck my toes in? Yeah, not gonna do that. But anyway, we'll see. I'll see how it goes. We'll see the way she goes. You're welcome, Bradley. Lot to look at. Excited to continue the journey. Hail to you too. Yeah, man. Be excited, man. Like, be excited about it. It is one hell of a journey. I will tell you that. I'm going into my 7th year of being a dedicated heathen. I kind of dabbled a bit around beforehand, but I would say that, if I were to put mile markers on things, that I have lapsed, or I have taken a lap past the 6-year mark, and I am moving into my 7th year, and so the next 3 years for me to accumulate 9 years total of being, it's going to be wild. It's been a very wild ride. And how you want to kind of chronologically notate those things, how you want to chronologize, that's even a word, and document how things go along the way for you. I think you'll find it to be very, very interesting when you look back, because when I do, I've probably the most engaging form of that is like looking back on my social media memories. What did I do 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, etc. And when I see some of the things that I was, getting into and looking at and researching or finding out myself, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'm like, wow, look at look at you, little guy, look at you, how cute you are, or whatever, you know. And now look at you now, you know, kind of see the growth that takes place, and it's a fun and exciting thing to be a part of. And it's fun to like analyze yourself that way. At least it is for me. I'm excited for you, for being someone that's new to this, and I'm excited for your experiences going forward. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared, because some of these experiences, you know, depending on how you know, how you want to explore your spirituality, might get a little dicey. But man, it's part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's part of it. You can make it, at least take the herd with you. What did you miss? Anything going on, man? Not really much going on, man. Like I said, I was just, you know, jumping on here because I was doing it because I don't. Always look forward to videos and podcasts. Thank you, Chase, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to you, my dude. Really appreciate the vote of confidence, as it were. But yeah, no, Wyatt. Like I said, I was just like, man, what am I gonna do tonight? I think I'll go live on YouTube, because why not? I don't do it that much, and I need to do it more. We are in a race. I say a race, but it's more like a casual jog to 5,000 subscribers here on the channel. Which, by the way, speaking of subscribers, Wyatt Coverdale over here in the live chat just broke 100 subscribers, I think, on his channel like a couple of weeks ago. So everybody, you know, go ahead and subscribe to Wyatt Coverdale. If you're sitting here watching me right now and you aren't subscribed to Wyatt's channel, please go ahead and just give him a subscribe. This dude has been on the podcast. He's been on my live streams. He's been on this channel. This dude is one of the OGs, and he's not even, he's one of the youngest OGs of the channel, man. Like he's been here since almost day one, son, riding it and just, you know, rolling with us all. And he's got some really cool stuff to talk about. He's starting to do regular live streams now, on his channel, talking about who the hell knows what, because I don't catch him all the time, but it's always a good time, man. It's always a good time, and I encourage you guys to support people, because what are we doing out here, guys? We're just living our best lives. It's 2022, the world's on fire, and we're just trying not to, you know, go insane. Or maybe we are trying to go just a little bit insane, but keep some sense of sanity about us. What's the fun in that? You know, what's the fun in that? Sanity and insanity. They say the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. And I say that if you like doing the same things over and over again, then you're just having a good time, buddy. I don't know. We're all a little bit mad. We're all a little insane. You know, you go down those rabbit holes, and you start examining and exploring certain alternatives to thinking, and you realize just how much none of us ultimately matters. It's a weird conundrum, man, if that's even the right word to put for this whole thing. Sanity is overrated. The bear gets it. If I ever had anybody that I would say just, you know, chimes in at the right time or says the right thing when it's appropriate, it's the bear. The bear gets it. Bear gets it. Sanity is overrated. You know. Why? Developing your own philosophy. Look, man, rock on with it. I say. I mean, look, we're all here looking for things, I guess, is probably a fair statement. You know, everybody's looking for something, either looking to be a part of something. And I mentioned Ocean Keltoy earlier in his channel, and one of Ocean's things that he says, and I think it's at the end of all of his videos, is to either find a way or make one. And for a lot of people, finding a way works. Once they find a niche to get into, once you find a little comfortable groove to settle into, you're golden, baby. You know, like that's fine for a lot of people. But for folks like Wyatt or myself, even, I'll venture out on the limb, and I'll just put myself out here. The groove changes, man, and the groove shifts because the road never stays the same. The road is always shifting. And sometimes you are just cruising on down the highway and you see this really cool thing off of an exit, and you just, there you go, off the road. Next thing you know, you're riding around some back hills and backcountry roads, and you got lost a little bit, and you get out there, man. You get out there, and then and then you just go, what is this? What is all this out here? But it's cool, and like, man, I like it out here. I want to figure out more about this. And then you dabble out there for a bit, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to get back out into the mainstream thing a little bit. But I don't know, man. Once you get off those beaten roads, and once you start taking those exits and visiting those, ghost towns, as it were, sometimes that's where you find yourself at. I was talking about this a little bit the other day, loosely. I saw a social media post about what was it? The darkness. Let me actually find it, because this one was a good one. This one was a good one, as they say in the South. Not a good one, but a good one. And it was that this guy, I'm going to hopefully get on the podcast very, very soon. What did he say? He said it was like this dichotomy, the darkness and the light. Don't tell me he deleted the post. Maybe it was an old post. Let me scroll down through here. Oh, I think he deleted it. Wow, that was a really good one too. But it was like, where do you find the it was like this darkness and light, and seeking light to heal, or to avoid the darkness. And I'm like, look, man, it took me getting lost in the dark. It took that time for me to lose myself in the dark before I could appreciate the light. And not all things that are seen are what's in front of us, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's concealed by our eyes within the dark that can be revealed. A lot can be revealed in the dark that our physical eyes can't see. And I remembered this line from a movie called Crocodile Dundee. And I'm dating myself a little bit, but if you guys don't know Crocodile Dundee, right? When he's out there and it's dark, and he's sitting out there with Sue, his companion from New York City, right? And that Aborigine, one of the local tribal people, came through in the dark, and then he leaves, but it's dark, and Sue's, city girl, right? She's like, how does he see in the dark, or something like that? And the line that Crocodile Dundee replies with is, he thinks his way. But when you're in the dark and you can't physically see, right? Like, how do you navigate? Well, you think your way. Feel it out. Just go with it. Just go for it, The Coverdale model. Okay. Yeah, take your time with it, man. That sounds intriguing. I'm excited to be, privy to that, and to kind of follow along and watch and see what happens with it. It's fortunate that not a lot of people seem to show up anymore here. We used to do 4 to 6 hour live streams. Yeah, man. But again, that's a lot to do with me. Wyatt remembers, I would be, streaming live almost once a week, every week, here. And life happens, man. Life, like I mentioned before. Life finds a way. to royally screw you over. and you just got to do what you got to do to get by. And a lot of times getting by means not streaming live. So, I do what I can do to put content out here on this channel once a week, but streaming live just doesn't, these 1 hour streams, like I said, I've been doing, what is this now? Yeah, I think we're almost to an hour on this one, but probably wrapping it up here soon. I got a call that I need to return earlier. Work, just it's adult things, human things in general, man. Just human existence, human life. To have to fool with it is baloney. But I do. I recognize it, and I know that there's a lot of people like you and stuff that enjoy these things. And while I may not be positioned or even conditioned to do, these marathon runs where it was like 4 or 6 hours long, I think it's a long time, and I just don't have it. I don't have the desire to do that much anymore either. Maybe every now and then, but not like I used to. Yeah, exactly. Like Godfrey Bear says, most attention spans are look at the society that we are in now, right? Like everybody's like, forget about watching these 20, 30-minute long videos. Now it's like, what can you tell me within a minute long TikTok or a minute long reel or a minute long Instagram story or whatever? It's all, everybody wants it now. Like that Queen song, I want it now, and I want it all. Nobody's willing to wait. Nobody's willing to go on the journey and get it. They want it now. It's that instant gratification mindset, and I'm sorry, that's not what you're going to get here. Not on the Midgard Musings channel, not with Random Heathen Ramblings podcast, not with me as a person. I tell people a lot of times, I will give you information at first. And this goes with like my professional sector of life, right? Like my job, my career is to train people, is to give people knowledge and information. I'm like, I'm going to give you the answer at first, and then I'm going to show you how to find the answer. Here's the answer. Here's how you find it. And then when you come back and you ask me that question again, I might give you the answer one more time, but then I'm also gonna be like, remember, here's where I showed you to find it. And then every other time after that you ask me the same question, I'm gonna be like, where did you go to look for it? How did you find, why couldn't you find it already? That sort of thing, right? Give them the tools. Don't give them that instant gratification and be like, yeah, here's your answer. Because what are you learning at that point? You're not developing anything. You're just getting that immediate answer, that immediate response. No, man, I want to equip you. I want to prepare you for the task ahead, and I want to give you the tools to be able to be successful. Beneficial to have a team of philosophers and magicians at your dispense. Philosophers and magicians, huh? Jesters and fools, as they say, or something. I don't know. Yeah, why not? I mean, you kind of do already, in a way. Maybe not at your immediate disposal, but I mean, you've got a network that you've tapped into, for sure. I hate how ridiculously ignorant the world has fallen. Boy, you and me both, dude. That's an ongoing theme, my man. Who the hell was I talking to the other day? Somebody. Oh, it was one of my tribesmen. We were talking about just work stuff. You know what I mean? And he made like a faux pas. There was some sort of like social engineering effort being made against his workplace, and he's like, I may have fell for it. And I'm like, he's like, but I'm human, you know? I'm like, well, yeah, we all are to whatever degree. I said, and that's the damnable misery of it, right? It's this whole stupid old human existence thing that gets you every time. Being just contained to this meat suit can be fun at times, I guess. There's some benefits to it, but largely, especially now after some of the experiences that I've had, I'm like, humans, ugh, would not recommend. It's like an Amazon review, 2 out of 10. They're fun at times. For the most part, would not recommend. Um, but here we are. We all are one of them, as it were. Um, especially with you, Wyatt, man. Like, I get it. Like, we've had enough talks on these live streams, even on your channel too, with myself and with Dingo and stuff. And there's we've talked enough about you and comparing what you're dealing with and what you're experiencing in this point of your life as to things that we can relate with and that we can relate to. And yeah, we get it. We understand. So, but all right, guys, this is about an hour long stream for me. My phone has been blowing up. People are reaching out to me, my wife included. So it was fun and it was great. The race or the jog or the stroll to 5,000 subscribers continues on. And in that vein, I hope you all will continue to be there with me. And if you want to bring anybody else along the ride, feel free to share these videos, share my channel's information, and invite your people to subscribe and follow along as well. As much as I'm able to, I look to, share regular content in the form of podcasts every week, every Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. So tune in tomorrow here on YouTube and on all the other major podcast platforms for the next episode of Random Heathen Ramblings. So I appreciate all of you tuning in and chiming in and saying hi today. And until we all talk again, I hope you have a safe rest of your evening, a healthy life. Hail to you all. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one, whenever that will be, hopefully soon. Take care.